everyone, my name is Hot Sequence, metric number 253207. Today I'm going to talk about my informative speech. My informative speech topic is Impostor Syndrome. Before you go off thinking Impostor Syndrome has to do with anything about the latest trending game or marvelous, I'm gonna stop you there. Imposter syndrome means that the lack of affirmation of oneself after achieving one's work, project, or assignments by actual evidence. Okay, you might think, what does that mean? That means that if you think that you're just lucky enough to get your job promotion, you're just lucky enough that you get your intern, you're just lucky enough to finish the assignment and get A's, that means you do not validate your own accomplishments, then you might get a little bit of imposter syndrome. That's why the name imposter comes from. The imposter will think that they are the suspect, they are the fraud, they are the liar under the limelight that they think they do not deserve. So, the aspect of imposter syndrome, Dr. Valerie Young has identified 5 kinds of imposter syndrome: the perfectionist, the aspect, the natural genius, the Superman/Superwoman, and the Soloist. I would just call it PAX with an extra X. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about each kind of imposter syndrome and how to overcome it. So the first one, the perfectionist. The perfectionists are the ones that set impossibly high standard. So being called perfectionist is really not as great as being called successful. Because according to a research, colleagues will tend to prefer to work with non-perfectionists than perfectionists. Because you hear me right, working with perfectionists is like working with a time bomb. You do not know you can achieve their high standards or not. You feel so much burden and troublesome by working with the perfectionists, because in their mindset there is no room for mistakes. So perfectionists will tend to overwork themselves. They will tend to have this mental breakdown. So in order to overcome these situations, the perfectionist has to learn to appreciate the small achievement. The small achievement like getting a small compliment from your boss, getting a good pat on the shoulder from your colleagues, or you get praised because you pick up rubbish beside the streets. These little small achievements, you need to appreciate that. The perfectionist has to understand that these little achievements are the ones who make you who you are. Because life is about learning process. It's about non-stop learning. Process is so much important than the result. So, even though you get failures once a day, but through the process of learning, you get to learn and fall. Learn and fall. But it's this little mistakes that makes us who we are. It makes us grow to a better person instead of a perfect person. Because there is no such thing ever. There is no perfect person ever in this world. If you think that is, you might stop watching Cinderella or some fairy tale stories. Okay, the second kind of imposter syndrome is expert. So the expert are the ones who think they want to know everything. So it's kind of similar to the perfectionist. The perfectionists are the ones who set a very high standard. But whereas the expert thought that I want to know it all. So they tend to shove every single knowledge. They want to know everything. Is that Jack? But you know what? There's a saying going. Jack knows all, but master none. So the expert has to identify the right knowledge and skill for themselves. They have to know that what truly matters to them. So it's like throwing off your clothes. Okay, if you think that you're not wearing your shirt or your clothes or your pants within 3 months, like this 3 months you never touch that shirt, it's probably time to discard it or probably donate it. So it's the same as knowledge. The expert has to know that knowledge can get you everywhere, but is it the right knowledge for you? There's always Google and Wikipedia. It's just one fingertips away. And after that, expert can try to teach the juniors or the colleagues by mentoring and teaching them using your extra knowledge. Because other than the colleagues and the juniors get to benefit from that, the expert can find self-fulfillment and self-contentment in themselves. The third one, the geniuses. The natural geniuses are the ones who think that they need to achieve something by the first attempt. Yeah, you hear it right. First attempt. Like if you couldn't solve this mathematical equation for first attempt, they would think that they are a failure. Yes, that's extreme. That's extreme. Because they thought that everything should come naturally. That is why, according to Melody Walding, the natural geniuses in Impostor Syndrome will tend to avoid things that they are not good at. They will stay inside this comfort zone of themselves and will not get away. So, if you have this syndrome, you have to learn to know that everything is a learning process. As the famous physician Albert Einstein said, I'm not a failure. I have not failed. I just found 10,000 ways that do not work. You hear it, right? So natural geniuses has to know that it's okay to not attempt something by the first try. Because if like this, I don't think that's anyone is a genius. Anyone is not a genius. Okay, so the fourth type of imposter syndrome is the Superman / Superwoman. As it means, Supermen are the ones who save the world. So in real life, who are the Supermans? The workaholics. The workaholics thought they want to save the company by doing so many works. They are the ones who do overtime, they are the ones who do everything, they are the ones who always stay in the company. They will feel so much pressure by doing all this extra workload unnecessarily. Indirectly, it means that Supermen are seeking external validation instead of internal validations. So in order to solve this problem, the Superman has to learn to take constructive criticism from other people. When your boss asks you to relax, to have chill down, to do your own stuff, please do it. Because your work doesn't equalize to your life. Your life has so much more things. There are love, there are family stuff, there are your passion, there are your hobbies. Just go do those kind of stuff. Instead of seeking external validation, seeking internal validation. Value yourselves from internally. The last one is the soloist. So the soloists are the one who do everything by themselves. Coded by Mr. Happy Work, the soloists think that more people equals to more problem. The soloists will think that if they couldn't achieve something by themselves, they need to seek help from other people. They will find themselves as less worthy or less skillful. So, the soloist should learn to talk their struggle with someone, at least with someone they are close with. They can start off by talking with their families or their close friends. It would to let themselves to indulge themselves in little helps. Other than that, soloists also can try to involve themselves in bit by bit by joining some teamwork projects or some community works, because asking for help is definitely not a weakness. So, we have done all 5 kinds of imposter syndrome, which is PAX. So, actually, imposter syndrome, in conclusion, is not really a serious mental health, but little problem that could accumulate much bigger is going to affect your life. So, by trying to identify which kind of imposter syndrome and tackle each kind with the right solution, you could be a better person and a wholesome human being. Because we as human beings have to learn to appreciate everything and be grateful about them, because those are the ones that make us who we become to and make us a better person. Thank you. That's all from me.